Hello students, today we will see single phase and three phase fully controlled converter fed DC drives. So before we begin, we will just see what is one quadrant converter and what is two quadrant converter. One quadrant converter and two quadrant converters. So I can indicate it here as one quadrant converter and two quadrant converter. On the x-axis we have output current IO, and on the y-axis we have voltage. On the y-axis we have voltage. So phase controlled single phase or three phase full wave converters are primarily of three types, namely uncontrolled converters, then half controlled converters, and fully controlled converters. So three types: uncontrolled converters, half controlled converters, and fully controlled converters. An uncontrolled converter, also called as rectifier, uses only diodes, and the level of DC output voltage cannot be controlled in this case. That's why they are called as uncontrolled rectifiers. Half controlled converters, also called as semi converters, uses a mixture of diodes and thyristors, and there is limited control over the level of DC output voltage. Whereas when we talk about fully controlled converters, they use only thyristors, and there is a wide control over the level of output voltage, wide level of control over the output voltage. Now semi converters are called as one quadrant. These are called as one quadrant converters. These are semi converters. Only in one quadrant they operate. So semi converter is one quadrant converter, and this one quadrant converter has one polarity of DC output voltage, as you can see here, as it is only positive in this quadrant, and current is also only positive in this quadrant. So only one polarity of the output voltage and current at its terminal, right? Whereas two quadrant converters, you can see here, in case of two quadrant converters, voltage has two polarities, VO and minus VO, but current is only positive polarity. That's why it operates in the two quadrants, and two quadrant converter these are called as. So a two quadrant converter is one in which voltage polarity can reverse, but current direction cannot reverse because of the unidirectional nature of the thyristors. So one quadrant, two quadrant, this one. Half controlled is one quadrant, and fully controlled is two quadrant converters. So I hope this difference is clear: uncontrolled, half controlled, and fully controlled. Right? Uncontrolled, there are no thyristors, only diodes. Rectifier, half controlled, mixture of diodes and thyristors, limited control over the output voltage, one quadrant converter. Fully controlled, wide range or wide level of control of DC output voltage, only thyristors, right? And these are called as fully controlled converters, two quadrant converters. Okay, so I think this is okay for the initial introduction. Now let us begin with the single phase fully controlled converters. Single phase fully controlled converter. Single phase fully controlled converter. So now here we will first consider a case with RLE load, and then we will go to the DC motor example. DC motor example. So single phase fully controlled converter, if I draw a circuit here, it can be like this. Just one moment, let me draw it. Okay, this is R L E, and here it is one phase terminal, and this is neutral terminal. These are thyristors. These are thyristors. So here we have AC supply, positive, negative, IS. Okay, this is R L E. This is T1, T2, T3, T4, and this is IO. This is VO. This is VO. Okay, so this is the typical circuit diagram of single phase fully controlled converter or single phase full bridge converter. Now if I draw here waveforms, as you can see here, this is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, and this is the supply voltage that we will be applying. Okay, this is Vm, this is minus Vm omega t. So Vs that is being applied is equal to Vm sine of omega t. So this is Vs, this is Vs, this is Vs. Now in positive half cycle, this terminal is positive, this terminal is positive, this terminal is negative. As a result, T1 and T2 are forward bias, T3 and T4 are reverse bias. T1 and T2 are forward bias, T3 and T4 are reverse bias. So in that case, you can see that current will flow from this source to T1, then R, L, E, back to T2, and then again to the source. But here we need to understand that T1 and T2 are thyristors. So when I say T1 and T2 are thyristors, they will conduct only when the gate pulse is applied. They will conduct only when the gate pulse is applied to them. So let me indicate a gate pulse for that. Let me indicate a gate pulse for that. So this is gate pulse. I am applying a gate pulse at this instant, and this angle I am indicating as alpha. This angle I am indicating as alpha. Similarly, in the negative half cycle, gate pulse will be provided here, pi plus alpha, and here gate pulse again 2 pi plus alpha, 2 pi plus alpha. One thing we need to note that this E is nothing but the back EMF of the DC motor. This E is back EMF of the DC motor. So if I indicate this E, here, if I indicate this E here, which is like this, okay, this is E, this is E, back EMF. Now here we need to understand that, thyristors T1 and T2 are triggered at omega t is equal to alpha, right? T1 and T2 are triggered at omega t is equal to alpha at this instant, right? So here we need to ensure that the voltage at which it is triggered, the supply voltage at which it is triggered is more than the back EMF, is more than the back EMF. If that voltage is less than the back EMF, SCR will not be turned on because back EMF is more. That's why T2 and T1 are reverse bias that moment, at that moment. T2 and T1 are reverse bias at that moment. So for that we need to understand that the voltage at which it is triggered should be more than the back EMF voltage here, right? So here it will be triggered, here it will be triggered, so in the positive half cycle. So if I want to draw it here, let me indicate here, it is at alpha 2 pi, this is not alpha, this is pi, this is pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, but this is alpha, this is pi plus alpha, this is 2 pi plus alpha, this is 0. So T1 and T2 are triggered at omega t is equal to alpha. So whatever the envelope of supply voltage is there, it will be traced. It will be traced like this. It will be traced like this. So as voltage is reaching to zero value, it is also going to zero value. It is also going to. Now there are two modes of operation in this case. Continuous mode and discontinuous mode. Discontinuous mode of operation, continuous mode of operation and discontinuous mode of operation. So right now we will focus only on the continuous mode of operation. Right now we will focus only on the continuous mode of operation. So here at omega t is equal to alpha, T1 and T2 are triggered. So let me indicate here T1 and T2, they are conducting, current is flowing from the source to the load, and the circuit is completed like this. At omega t is equal to pi, when the voltage reaches to zero value, let me indicate current also, otherwise we will not be able to plot it. Okay, so here assuming that the circuit is starting from here, so this is pi, this is going to be 2 pi, this is 3 pi, your current will start increasing to some maximum value over here, right? And assuming that the value of inductor is such that current continues to flow till the firing of the next two thyristors, that is T3 and T4. So at omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, because now it is moving in the negative direction. This voltage is moving in the negative direction, but we need to ensure that there is an inductor here. And because of inductor does not allow instantaneous change in the current. Current is already here with the maximum value. This current cannot become suddenly negative. This current has to decay to a small value. This current has to decay to a small value, right? Then it will go like this, suppose, right? And before the current decays to zero value, next two thyristors T3 and T4 are turned on. T3 and T4 are turned on, right? So here at omega t is equal to pi plus alpha, T3 and T4 are turned on at this instant. So till that time we will have some negative voltage here. Till that time we will have some negative voltage, and suddenly that time what will happen? T3 and T4, this terminal will become negative, this terminal will become positive. So this T3 and T4 will be forward bias, T1 and T2 will be reverse bias. So when again you can see that when T3 and T4 are forward bias, your current continues to flow in the same direction. Your current continues to flow. Supply voltage is reverse. Supply voltage is reverse here, but current continues to flow in the same direction. As a result, we need to have, or we need to indicate voltage with this value. We need to indicate voltage like this, output voltage. Your current is decreasing little bits here, and then again it is increasing. Again it is increasing to maximum value here. Again it is increasing to maximum value here, right? So here who is conducting? T3 and T4 are conducting. T3 and T4 are conducting, and the cycle repeats. And the cycle repeats, like here again it will glow like this. Who is conducting? T1 and T2, right? Like this. So this portion is the voltage that we have. So we are able to control both the half cycles here, positive and negative. This is the voltage. So if I assume continuous cycles, then I must indicate here also some voltage, and current is increasing like this. This current will be like this. This is IO, this is VO, right? IO and VO. Now we need to calculate the value of VO. We need to calculate the value of VO. How to calculate VO? Average value. VO is equal to, how we calculate average value? Average value is area under the curve divided by the base length. Area under curve divided by base length. So 1 upon pi, because this base length and the waveform is repeating after pi radians. Waveform is exactly repeating after the pi radians. So 1 upon pi, integration from this value we will take alpha to pi plus alpha. So it is Vm sine of omega t, as it is mentioned here, d omega t. Vm sine omega t, d omega t. Vm sine omega t, d omega t. So what will happen now? What will happen? We will go for solving this. 1 upon pi, right, into Vm minus cos omega t, right? And then if we solve this, your answer will be 2 Vm upon pi cos omega, cos alpha. 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha. 2 Vm upon pi cos alpha. Right? So alpha is equal to 0. When alpha is equal to 0, what is the output voltage? When alpha is equal to 0 means there is no firing angle. There is no firing angle. So in that case, your answer will be 2 Vm upon pi. Your answer will be 2 Vm upon pi. And when alpha is equal to pi, when alpha is equal to pi by 2, that time your answer will be 0. Because you will get same positive half cycle and negative half cycle. Area means under positive half cycle and area under negative half cycle will be same. So average value will be 0. Average value will be 0. And as we go upon above alpha, because in the beginning discussion we have said that your this type of converter, that is single phase fully controlled converter, is 2 quadrant operation, is operating in the 2 quadrants, that is VO is either positive or negative. So what will be the range for getting the positive value of voltage? It is alpha to pi by 2, and from pi by 2 to alpha, pi by 2 to pi, sorry, this is alpha to pi by 2, pi by 2 to pi, you will get negative value of voltage. Here it is positive value of voltage. So this is the average value of the voltage that you will get here. And when alpha is equal to exactly pi by 2, that time area under positive half cycle, that means this area will be equal to this area, so that the average value will be 0. So that the average value will be 0. So this way you can obtain the average value. Now if I want to get the RMS value of this voltage, how I can get RMS value? Let me erase some part. RMS value, how I can get? VOR is equal to, again, 1 upon pi alpha to pi plus alpha Vm square sin square omega t d omega t. So if you solve this, you will get Vm square upon 2, that is Vs square, that is Vs square. So RMS value of output voltage is nothing but the supply RMS voltage. Okay. So when alpha is between 0 to pi by 2, this is called as rectification. This is called as rectification because the overall value of voltage is positive. And when alpha is between pi by 2 to pi, the overall value of voltage is negative, and that mode of operation is called as the inversion. That mode of operation is called as inversion. In that case, negative region of this graph, of this curve, will be more than the positive region, and that's why the average value will be negative. Okay, is this clear? So again, if we go back here, in the positive half cycle, T1 and T2 will be forward bias, and in the negative half cycle, T4 and T3 will be forward bias. But we need to ensure that thyristors will conduct only when the gate pulse is provided. So here gate pulses are provided to T1 and T2. This is T3 and T4. This is again T1 and T2, and this is current. Now if we assume there is a discontinuous mode of operation, that means for short duration the value of inductor is such that the current decays to 0 value before triggering the next thyristors. In that case, what will happen? Let me erase this output voltage waveform because this will change when it is a discontinuous conduction mode. So let me indicate here. Okay. So here firing pulse is provided, so you will get this graph as it is because T1 and T2 are conducting. Now the value of inductor is such that the current in the negative half will decay to 0 value after some time. So as long as there is current in the circuit, you will have some voltage across the load, right? So if I say that current is starting from this value and it is going to maximum value, and after that, after here, let me indicate beta. At beta, current is reaching to 0 value. So till that time you will have the voltage. Till that time you will have some voltage. Now what after that? After that you will have some voltage. Voltage will not be 0 even though there is no current in the load. There will be some voltage, and what is that voltage? That voltage is due to back EMF. So you need to go to back EMF. This is the value of back EMF. At this point, so it will shift here, and then at this firing instant, thyristor will be triggered. So again you will have some voltage here, and here for this duration there is no current. And that's why it is called as discontinuous conduction. discontinuous conduction. So for again your current will rise from this value here, again it will go to some value here, pi plus beta. Now this will be pi plus beta, current will decay to 0 value, then again it will go to back EMF, and like this and like this. Now in this case, if I want to obtain the output voltage, how I can get that? How I can get that output voltage? VO is equal to 1 upon pi, as it is alpha, but here I need to write beta, alpha to beta. Here I need to write alpha to beta. Rest of the equations will remain same. Rest of the equations or rest of the calculations will remain same. Only the limit will change, alpha to beta, and similarly here also alpha to beta, alpha to beta. And with this, your output average voltage and RMS voltage can be calculated. With this, output voltage can be calculated, right? Is this clear? Average output voltage and RMS voltage for both continuous conduction and discontinuous conduction for the single phase fully controlled converter. Single phase fully controlled converter. If this is clear, then we can move ahead for the DC driving converter, single phase fully controlled converter, fade DC drive, fade DC drive. If this is clear, then we can move ahead with this topic in the next session. So I hope this is clear, and here we will stop. Thank you very much.